Picture this, a gladiator standing in the middle of the Colosseum, thumbs down meaning death. But what if this image is completely wrong? We've all seen that iconic scene in movies where a thumb turned downward seals a gladiator's fate. But hold your horses, or should we say chariots. This representation might not be as accurate as Hollywood would have us believe. The truth is, the actual gestures and their meanings are still a subject of hot debate among historians. Some argue that police verso, the Latin term for with a turned thumb, might have actually meant the thumb was hidden inside the fist, indicating mercy. Others suggest that a thumbs up, rather than down, was the signal for the kill. Even more intriguing, some theories propose that the thumb gesture was not used at all, and other signs were employed instead. So, the next time you watch a gladiator movie, remember, the thumbs down might not mean what Hollywood thinks it means. Ever imagined all Romans walking around in togas? Well, think again. It's a common misconception that togas were the daily wear in ancient Rome. In reality, togas were considered formal wear, donned for public outings and official functions. They were like our modern suits or evening gowns. Romans, like us, preferred comfort for their daily grind. They typically wore tunics, simple, comfortable garments, perfect for the Mediterranean climate. So, why does the toga misconception persist? Well, it's likely because togas have been heavily featured in art and literature. They were a symbol of Roman citizenship, a badge of honor, if you will. So, artists and writers often depicted Romans in togas to emphasize their identity. But let's face it, wearing a toga every day would be like wearing a tuxedo to the grocery store. It seems togas were the ancient Roman equivalent of our black tie attire. Not exactly your everyday outfit, huh? We often envision ancient Rome as a city of pristine white marble. But was it really? Let's dive into the marble myth. Contrary to popular belief, Rome wasn't a city bathed in plain white. Sure, they did use marble for their grand structures, but the Romans had a vibrant aesthetic sense. They loved their colors. Many of the marble buildings were painted, transforming them into vivid panoramas of life and culture. Imagine walking through streets lined with buildings splashed with blues, reds, and greens. It's like stepping into a kaleidoscope, isn't it? So, the next time you see a movie depicting Rome as a city of white marble, remember the Romans were much more artsy than that. They didn't shy away from adding a bit of pizzazz to their architectural wonders. So the Romans loved a splash of color just as much as we do. Did Nero really play the fiddle while Rome burned? Let's find out. This is one of the most infamous tales from ancient Roman history. But spoiler alert, it's not quite accurate. The Great Fire of Rome occurred in the year 64, and it's true that Emperor Nero was in power at the time. But here's the catch. The fiddle, as we know it, wasn't invented until the 11th century, almost a millennium after Nero's reign. So, it's impossible for Nero to have fiddled while Rome was ablaze. Historians argue that the story may have stemmed from reports of Nero singing about the destruction of Troy while the fire raged. This was likely twisted over time into the more dramatic and damning image of a ruler fiddling while his city burned. So, Nero's fiddling is just a fiery myth after all.